You got challenges that you're going to run across.
Yeah, you have to read energy and pay attention to certain things, because if you take time and remove yourself, because we'll walk by somebody and ask them how they're doing, and we'll keep it moving because we really don't care how they doing.
Yeah.
Ask them, like, how you doing? I'm having a shitty day. Like, and they're not expecting that. It's just the right thing to do for some people to just say that. But once you take time and genuinely invest in a person, and you know, after you've seen a person for so many times and over time, you start to think like, hey, you're not yourself today. Like, what's going on? You know, you start to read energy and you pick up on certain things they say, and like, what you got going on at home? Like, that don't sound right.
Yeah.
And they're scared. They want to help. It's a cry for help, but they're embarrassed that they put themselves in that position. They're scared that what's going to happen, because just say if you're in an abusive relationship with a spouse, you know, you're not reluctant to tell people that.
Yeah, and most people are afraid too that you might, you know, use it against them. Most people don't believe that you care, and a lot of people don't care. Like you said, in passing, that's one of the things that I like about doing the podcast and interviews. And I have to monitor myself, because if I really did it the way I want to, me and you will be in here for about 4 hours, because I love to find out what people are doing and why they doing it. And I really care. Like if somebody tell me they work at a plant, I want to really know why. But you can't really go in detail like that here, because we'll be out there forever. But most people really ask questions just to be asking, and they really don't want to know, and they move on. So a lot of people don't want to share certain things, which kind of rolls me into the next question that I want to ask you. How do you keep yourself motivated? You know, like, because I know when you helping a lot of people, it can be draining too, because they're draining you in the process of you trying to help them. So, you know, how do you keep yourself going, even when the chips are down? Like, for example, when you feel like, well, this ain't working the way I wanted to work. What do you do to keep yourself motivated?
So that's my level of journal talks about that as well. It hasn't always been easy. So you pour into people. I had to learn to stop expecting people to do what I do. Right. I started doing things and knowing that this is what I want to do. I'm doing this with no type of, like, I'm not looking for anything in return. Like if I'm going to pour into you, but I had to start setting boundaries, because people will take advantage of you because they know that you're going to be that person to show up for them or whatever. So I had to start setting boundaries, because it is hard to stay motivated when you are doing everything and you're there for everybody or whatever. And it gets to a point, I don't care who you are, you're going to crash. So you had to make sure I just made sure I had the right people around me. I started creating a different type of circle. And believe it or not, I am an advocate of counseling. And I'm an advocate of making sure that I stay spiritually connected, because when no one else is there, you have to lean on somebody.
Right.
You know, and flesh is not always guaranteed to be there. So you have to have that spiritual connection. So those are some of the things that you have to do. So you have to have strong confidence in yourself and purposely develop different tactics for those times, because you can't wait until you're feeling unmotivated to figure out what you're going to do. You have to prepare and train for those times, just like with anything else.
You said that you wasn't a reader growing up, and then since you got these 2 books that you become more of a reader now, what would you say is a book that really, one of your favorite books that really enlightened you more and kind of just was, you know, where you get entrenched into, you know, you get a good book, sometimes you just don't want the book to end. You know, it's like when you know, later on get ready to read, like, oh, I'm finished with this book. What book did that for you? Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.
You got challenges that you're going to run across.